everyone. So I'm Sarah Louise. Welcome to my channel. I just talk about spiritual things and my journey with spiritual connections and manifesting and just general experiences that I have or things that I feel, insights that I channel that I want to share. So today I wanted to do a video on why when you're manifesting something, so much can kind of come up from nowhere. So you start to manifest something and you think you're doing okay, and then all this kind of craziness comes up. And the thing is that when, like, why do you feel like you sometimes go backwards almost, to a sense? Well, when we're manifesting, sometimes you see, when we ask for something, then it has no choice but to be delivered, but to come into our lives. But it's all based on, you know, energies and frequencies and belief systems. So we have to truly believe that it's ours and we can have it. So I had chocolate on my mouth. I made myself a matcha latte and it's got like dark chocolate gratings on it with oat milk. And I just realized then. So if you, for example, say, you know, I want to manifest twin flame union, I from a very, very young age felt, literally from as young as I can remember, it's like I knew the template of the relationship that I wanted to experience. And then I obviously had a twin flame experience, but it was a nightmare. And it was just, you know, nightmare. That's what I'm going to say. And that's because I asked for that experience. I asked for that type of connection, but then I didn't have, I had so many limiting beliefs that were sort of in play, contrasting to that union that I aspired to and knew existed. So there was this, and I kind of could feel it strong enough to begin to bring it into my experience. But then there was this, which was like a whole heap of limiting beliefs and, negative thinking around men, relationships that I'd experienced through my lifetime. So for me to get to be, you have to clear this first. And that's why sometimes it can kind of go a bit crazy for a bit, and you just delay your journey basically when you kind of get lost in this stuff. It comes up and you allow it to overtake you rather than you stay strong on, I want this, I know this is possible, I have this. And that's where, even though I do believe in spiritual connections, I do believe in things that are more in alignment with our hearts and our heart center path, and I do believe in clearing ego programs, I also heavily believe that manifesting, we are always manifesting, and that being conscious of that process is a really important part of ascension. These are just my beliefs, obviously. And I really believe that it's a process that can really help you work through your limiting beliefs and your feeling of disempowerment, and the limiting beliefs that you've picked up from living in this environment and this society. I actually believe a lot of us were born with a lot less limiting beliefs, especially those of us that are on like a very strong spiritual path. And then it's almost like they were, we were born with no consciousness of that and memory, and we've almost been imprinted by these limiting beliefs of society. And it's kind of our job to unimprint them and then to go even higher and to evolve and to see ourselves as source, as God, as creators, co-creating our reality and our experience. So don't let these periods of craziness stop you, is basically the message of this video, because I allowed that to happen so many times, and there's so many limited beliefs out there in the twin flame world and just the spiritual community in general. There's so many kind of just limited belief systems, and it's so easy to just buy into them and make them a reality. And I truly believe that, you know, anything you desire, be that the ultimate relationship, you wouldn't desire it if it wasn't possible. So it's completely possible. And all this stuff that comes up that's seemingly the opposite of what you want, it's actually helping you to get there, because it's clearing you, it's purging you, and it's releasing you of limited belief. Now, you can look at it two ways. Like, I spent a lot of time doing shadow work and looking at the limited beliefs and looking at where they came from. I'm kind of glad I did that for a bit. But I think I moved into a lot more manifesting now, because I think sometimes you can end up keeping those limiting beliefs and that baggage alive by focusing on it too much. You know, I see a lot of it. He's really wounded. He's got all this baggage. I don't think we're meant to come together this lifetime. Oh, a tarot reader told me this. I mean, the list is so endless with the amount of kind of limiting beliefs that can be thrown onto you. And then at each step, each belief, you can lose yourself completely for months, years, decades. This is why, you know, I've really gotten into like a strong manifesting process now. I still, like I said, believe in connecting to your heart. I still believe, I know people say it's not important to have any kind of vibration to manifest, and I believe that, because at the end of the day, we're manifesting all the time. All it needs is for you to know. But at the end of the day, who doesn't want a high vibration? Who doesn't want to feel bliss? Who doesn't want to feel like they're radiating energy? And, you know, anyone that's ever been in that energy of complete bliss and heart open sensation and had like a deep spiritual connection, who wouldn't want that? You know, like, if you've experienced that, there's no way you wouldn't want to experience more of that. So, you know, it's not important to manifest, but is it important to be happy and ultimately fulfilled? To me, yes. So I can honestly say that it's important to me, and if it's important to you, then great, and if it's not, it's not. So that stuff is important, but I really believe, you know, hardcore manifesting is a great way to kind of bust through all of these limited beliefs. And the problem with all the shadow work is it's so easy just to keep them circling, I mean, do a bit, be aware enough that you know what your blocks are, you know where they came from. You know, I think it's empowering in a way to sort of like own that stuff. But then I think you can definitely spend too long there and just kind of, keep them just cycling and cycling. So I'm really big on, going hardcore now. I affirm a lot. And I just basically use repetition to get into the belief. And then once I've repeated enough times with affirmations, either in my head or speaking or singing them, I have a really good process. I think I made a video where I just go crazy and sing my affirmations, and I've made a few songs as well that I've changed the lyrics of popular songs so that they are in alignment with what I want. And then what I find is then I start to get into a belief and I drop a lot of the negative stuff, and then I start to be able to visualize and feel it as real. That to me comes secondary. I don't seem to be able to force that stuff. It seems to be a secondary reaction to sort of like constant repetition. And then generally when I have a visual or a feeling, it's like, oh my God, it's coming. I know it's coming. You feel it. You start to have visuals as if it's real. And then it generally comes in. And then it's very much a process for me of, is this really in alignment with my deepest desire? And that is still part of my process. I don't just kind of I realize that if I desire it, there's a reason, and there's a reason why I'm desiring it. And that maybe it's just because it's showing me some part of my ego that I need to work through, or you know, it's something that's really in alignment with myself. And sometimes I don't even know the answer to that until I've gotten it. And this is why I love persistent conscious manifesting so much, because it removes the lack and the chasing things just because you're trying to get something from them and seek the validation outside. So once you actually have it, then you're actually going to know, why did I want this in the first place? Or you are if you're aware and you're processing that stuff. But yeah, back to the original question, like, if you ask for something, then it's on its way. And the reason that you might then start to cry or feel like crap or have like things come up at the total opposite is because you have to be a vibrational match or frequency to the thing that you want. And when I say that, I mean, you have to believe, you basically, you have to believe it's yours and not have any limiting beliefs or self-doubt or lack of self thinking that you can have that, or pedestaling. All of that has to go. So if it's in your energy, then it's, and you ask for something, then all this stuff has to come out. So you have to see it like that. So if you've been manifesting a long time and you've been on this journey a long time, you can kind of just ask for something and it can just come in. And I think if people see this happen and it's not happening for them, they'll be like, why is it happening for these people? Well, you don't know how long these people have been working on stuff. Just because they're new to that technique doesn't mean they haven't been on and off manifesting for, you know, a decade, or consciously manifesting for a long time. So you've got to remember that when you put it out there, everything that's in the way has to come up. And the quicker you just let it come up and persist, the quicker you can skip that process. Whereas a lot of the time, a lot of us, and I put myself in this, done it loads of times, is the stuff comes up and then we end up losing ourselves in it. And it's almost like a testing ground. It's like you ask for something and then you get like shown the opposite, or you start to cry, or you just start to have like really negative feelings. And it's so easy at that point just to get lost in that. But that's the real key. That's when you just have to keep affirming, you have to keep staying on track, you have to keep knowing that this is yours. And the more and more you do that, the easier it gets and the shorter those periods get. And we call that purging in the twin flame community, I think, or clearing. But I've also just seen that it's in everything. If you ask for something, it's yours. But yeah, anything that's in the way of that has to clear out. So you're just seeing the clearing out period. And if you become too engaged in the 3D and you become too involved in it, that clearing out period will go on indefinitely. So the sooner you can be like, it's just clearing out and I'm staying strong on my belief, the sooner that it can come into your reality and manifest. So that's my video for today. And yeah, I hope everyone's well.